need to implement the Durban Declaration and Programme of Action, allow me to welcome the progress achieved thus far in the lead-up to the Anti-Racism Review Conference scheduled for April 2009, and in particular, the productive discussions of the two regional meetings in Brasilia and Abuja. I urge those governments that have expressed an intention not to participate in the conference to reconsider their position. I do not believe that all or nothing is the right approach to affirm one's principles or to win an argument. Should differences be allowed to become pretexts for inaction, the hopes and aspirations of the many victims of intolerance would be dashed, perhaps irreparably.
The African Group joins the call of the High Commissioner for all countries to join the process for the review of the Durban Conference on Racism.
We agree with her that the process would benefit from active participation by all, and therefore those who have declined to attend should reconsider their decisions.
One should not forget the plight of the Palestinian people, who have been subjected to massive and systematic violation of human rights under the occupation of Zionist regime for more than 6 decades.
And I give the floor now to the last speaker on my list, the representative of the United Nations Watch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Madam High Commissioner, United Nations Watch extends its warm greetings and congratulations on your undertaking of a mission that is critical to our time. Your own experience as a human rights activist and international judge are an inspiration to us all. As the world celebrates the 60th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UN Watch eagerly looks forward to cooperating with you toward the advancement of our common cause. Madam High Commissioner, your address before this Council placed special focus on the Durban Review Conference. Concerning a key point that you made, I wish to join the statements of Pakistan for the Organization of the Islamic Conference, Egypt for the African Group, and Cuba for the Non-Aligned Movement. You expressed determination to bring into the process those countries that have warned of non-participation, as well as those warning that events may force them not to participate. We share this goal. These countries, which have warned of non-participation, whatever their history and flaws, have been leaders in building legal and social institutions that combat racism. For example, it is worthy of mention that the Governor-General of Canada, my country, is a woman of African descent, born in Haiti. The United States has as its Secretary of State an African-American woman, and a serious candidate for president is an African-American man. In France, both the Justice Minister and Secretary of State for Human Rights are of African descent. Madam High Commissioner, can anyone dispute that these countries and others that have made similar statements care about the cause of anti-racism? I think we must ask, what is causing these countries to consider non-participation? You referred in your remarks to the African Regional Conference in Abuja, which you described as productive. We were there. Its stated objective was to take stock of African performance on racism, xenophobia, and related intolerance. But which African country's record on racism, xenophobia, and intolerance was examined? Not one. In Abuja, the UN expert on racism, Dudu Dieng, urged attention to xenophobic attacks that occurred in Kenya and South Africa, but these were ignored. A moment ago, the distinguished representative of Sudan mentioned Darfur, but in the Abuja text, this went unmentioned. Instead, the only situation mentioned was a non-African situation, with paragraph 32 of its declaration singling out the Palestinian situation. As you know, this is a political conflict and should not be made into a racial one. Other provisions in the Abuja Declaration, which may become part of the final Durban Review Conference outcome document, are also of concern. Some point the finger only at actions committed by the West. Others undermine the guarantee of free speech. Paragraph 13, for example, refers to, and I quote, the pretext of free speech. Madam High Commissioner, the Universal Declaration guarantees free speech, and this is not a pretext. We look forward to working with you and hope that these provisions of concern will not make it into the final text. Thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of United Nations Watch for his statement